Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining in today. I'm so grateful that all of you decided to come here. It gives me profound joy to be here with you all. I would never want to give this up, never. As long as you guys keep coming, I'm going to keep showing up. That's my promise. um, so, we all have been very vocal in sharing our feedback about meditation. All of you have shared that with me, with the community, so many times. And that's great because sharing and giving feedback is, you guys can hear me, right? Is very important. And why? Because, first of all, your breakthrough, when you share that with others, it helps them to think about it and hopefully they can also recreate it in their experience. But also your feedback when you make it vocal about how meditation is helping you in your life's journey, when you become more vocal about it and you share it with others and yourself, you kind of cement it in your own consciousness as well. Because if you notice what happens with us, because the changes are so subtle, right? So you're so close to yourself, you might not notice the shift. It's like a friend you meet after a whole year and says, "Wow, you so changed. You look better, or you've lost weight, or anything." And we don't recognize that in ourselves because we're so close to ourselves. So any shift, any benefits that you're noticing in your life journey, share it with the community. That's what community is for. And that is why it's very important to build this community of togetherness where we feel, okay, it's okay to share. But anything that is deeply personal to you and you're not willing to share, then write it in your journal. So you can recreate that experience, that benefit that you got. So that is why sharing is super, super powerful. And that's why I always ask you, hey, what do you think? What happened? It's not that I'm curious. Well, I am curious, but I'm not inquisitive. It's your journey, and I respect it so much. I honor you so much. So if I were to summarize the benefits of meditation that I gathered from all of you and over these years, I would say that relaxation. Hi, Alexandra. Hi. So if I were to summarize what you guys have been telling me, it's like rest and relaxation is something that you achieve almost within 7 days. Better sleep, a lot of physical and mental healing. And one of the things that stands out to me is self-awareness. You become more aware of how you're responding to the world and to yourself. You become self-aware. And that is a powerful benefit. So we've heard about the benefits. So today I just had this kind of channel it to me. I wanted to share with you how meditation actually works. We know the benefits, but how does it actually give you those benefits? I wanted you to have a good understanding of it the way I understood it. And this insight has been coming to me, but it came so strongly that I felt like I want to share it with you. So I might be rambling a bit, but just bear with me there. So think of meditation as looking in the mirror. Okay, meditation will bring the mirror in front of you. And you see, what do you see? You see a reflection. Okay. Now, if you're seeing the mirror after an entire day or you haven't seen it for a while, what is your first reaction when you look at the mirror? You bring order to yourself, right? You pat your hair, you make sure there's no seed stuck in your teeth, or, you just organize yourself, don't you? I mean, most people do that, especially if they're looking at the mirror after a long time. This is how meditation is quite like that as well. Meditation shows you what is inside you at a deeper subconscious level. It brings to surface your conditioning, your past programming, your perceived limitations, your beliefs, your mindsets. And you could say, well, I'm not aware of all of them. Yes, you're not. But it just brings it to the surface. You may still not be consciously aware of it, but that's what meditation is doing. It's bringing to the surface all that clutter. For the lack of a better analogy, I could say all your darkness, the can of worms. It just opens that can of worms and brings it to the surface. All your past programming, your limited beliefs, I'm not enough, that mind virus that we all are infected with, you know. So all of that starts to show up on the surface, your darkness, okay? Along with it, also what happens, you start to subtly recognize a deeper part of yourself, which is not the mind or the body. You have a mind, you have a body, but you're more than your mind and your body. That is your consciousness. So this consciousness that was laying sort of dormant, it was buried deep in this clutter of darkness. Now it starts to, you kind of dust it, and it also starts to reveal itself. And so we'll call this your light. So you have this light revealing itself, which laid so buried that you were not even aware of it. You thought the mind is all my ultimate dwelling place. I got to live in my mind, my thoughts, that's all I got. And I got to just keep using this tool the best way I can. And of course, that's a very dysfunctional way to live, but we didn't know better. And so we just chose our mind and our body as these tools that were given to us as this was us. You know, we identified with it so strongly. But meditation gave you a hint or a subtle idea that, hey, you're more than just the mind and the body. You are this wise being, this all-knowing being who has this direct connection to the source, who is really your higher self. So again, meditation brings to light your darkness and your own light. It brings both of them to the surface. And sometimes you're not even aware of it. This is all happening within you. And some of your limited beliefs you're aware of, and sometimes you're not even aware of them, but they are on the surface. So all of these two together, right? And now what happens is this light, this deeper part of you, which is in harmony, with nature, which is your higher self, looks at this cluttered past programming jumble of garbage and says, well, this is not right. This is very discordant. This is out of tune. Because you see, your body is not your mind, body, your soul, your spirit, everything. You are naturally calibrated to harmony and health. Okay, that's your natural default factory setting. But unfortunately, because of all these beliefs, these emotions, all this gunk that you've collected from previous lifetimes, or forget even previous lifetimes, from this entire life, you have this amount of baggage, and it's sitting there, and it's all very discordant. And this consciousness of yours, it looks at it and says, wait, this is not right. You're out of tune. Okay? And so what happens is this consciousness, that is who you are, that is your deeper part of you, it starts to entrain this less coherent aspect of you. It starts to entrain it. This is a law of physics. Anything which has a stronger, coherent signal is going to overtake and entrain anything that has a weaker or less coherent signal. You can read up. That is one of our scientific physical laws. And that's exactly what is happening inside of you through your meditation. This coherent, harmonious part of you is organizing this discordant part of you. This is an organizing intelligence. It's a deeper wisdom that doesn't come from knowledge, because this is connected to your source. This is higher wisdom. This is your higher self. So it starts to overtake and entrain this lesser coherence that is within you. And it tries to align this darkness of yours back to your essential nature. It starts to reconnect and realign. And so the byproduct of it is your healing. Your autonomic nervous system starts to relax more. It stops throwing that overstressed, hyper-vigilant response all the time. It starts to heal your body, because if your autonomic nervous system is healed, which controls most of your bodily functions, guess what? There's a lot of deep healing inside of you that's happening. So you become more coherent. And that's how it works. And it sort of came to me because I was playing the singing bowls and I was working on my solar plexus. And I kept listening to the sound. And I didn't like the sound. And I've been dealing with some challenging emotions lately, and now become so sensitive that I recognize the discord in my plexus sometimes. And I noticed the sound. So that's how even the sound healing works. It's going to resonate how you are resonating first. It's going to empathize with your body first, and it's going to resonate in the same discord. But then it's going to bring you back to wholeness. So this is how meditation and breath work also works in your body. I mean, I've tried to explain it to you scientifically as much as I could, but this is the insight I have. It's working. The way it's working is you're elevating your consciousness and you're bringing to surface all the gunk inside of you. And this elevated consciousness is making this more coherent, more harmonious, and aligning you back with your essential nature. So you're basically dialing back to your wholeness. All that discord that happens to you and happened to you, it's just coming back to wholeness. I hope that made sense. Please tell me if it didn't. So again, what does that mean for us? It means that our job as meditators and as humans who take responsibility of our health and happiness, you need to constantly work on elevating your consciousness, because that is the coherent part of you, okay? That's what's going to bring in your harmony and health in your life. You constantly want to elevate that. And how do you do it? Of course, through meditation, through breath work, going out of the mind and the constant racing thoughts. So people say, well, yeah, I need to get out of my mind, but I don't know how. To me, I want to give an example. If you're standing in a rushing stream and you're like, oh, I don't like this rushing water that's coming to me. And so I would probably say to you, well, get out of it and come and stand on the banks. And that's exactly how this works. You just need to bring your attention, your awareness elsewhere. You bring your attention and your awareness elsewhere. And what is that elsewhere? Connecting with nature. Okay, going for a walk, removing those headphones or earbuds, and just connecting with nature, right? Playing with your pet, playing with children, looking at children, anything, or artwork, music, dancing, anything that gets you out of your mind. Try all of that, because the mind is an impediment to elevating your consciousness. It's an impediment initially. And once the mind becomes a unifying mind, then it's different. But you have to get your mind to that level. So right now it might be an impediment. It might drag you to some difficult thought in the past. It might just bring you to a place you don't want to be. And so right now, choose to stay out of the mind by choosing to do things differently and staying in your consciousness and being present in the moment. And I'm not trying to kind of promote the retreat or anything, but going for retreats, because the environment is so conducive for your breakthroughs. One tiny moment can have a massive impact in your transformation. Miracles happen in moments. Don't think that you have to wait for years and years for a miracle. It could happen instantly in your life. You just have to be open and allow all of that to happen. So find those places that take you out of your mind and keep this consciousness, working on your consciousness to keep elevating it, because this is what's going to keep the other part of you. It's going to normalize, or rather, it's going to make it more in harmony. So that's how coherence works. And another thing I want to say, how do you elevate your consciousness? Never stop working on your inner child. Your inner child, this inner child is going to be with you forever, as long as you live. It's there. Okay? So you are the adult parent for your inner child. And maybe you did not get that love when you were growing up, but now you give that love to your inner child. You have to be patient. You cannot say, oh, just let this go. Stop fussing. It's time for you to rid yourself of this. No. Be patient with your inner child, and maybe your inner child needs a hug. Maybe it needs a walk in the park. Maybe it needs a purple popsicle. I don't know what it needs, but give that time to your inner child, and choose patience, because the more you release the inner child trauma, the more your consciousness will also elevate. So it's all the work that you do, the inner work, the inner healing that you do on yourself is super powerful, because it's going to clear the clutter of past programming, past, difficult emotions. And that's how your consciousness is going to keep rising. And that's how meditation works and breath work works. So you just never want to stop doing the work. And meditation and breath work are powerful awakening tools for your journey. Right? Did this make sense to you guys? This entraining of your belief system and how it makes it more coherent, how your consciousness can do the job. Yes, I mean, yes, of course, please speak. Guys, don't let me speak all the time.
I could see that actually.
Yeah?
I was like analyzing while you're talking, about my meditation, and I went to the nature this past 3 weeks and I tried to digest every minute, moment. And I've been telling you know, my guests, I said, instead of taking pictures, try to digest, and I'm telling my
Yeah.
husband, and it makes a difference. And now I'm in that situation. I had changed, and I think I noticed that I was with my sister yesterday, and we had a great time. It was a difficult time, but we had a great time after that. I mean, we
Good.
acknowledged that.
Good.
She acknowledged, and I acknowledged, and it was great,
Good. Thank you.
and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else wants to share anything?
No. No.
I'll say a little something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
when we were doing the breathwork course, and ever since then, my experience with it was, well, the monkey mind, like I've been telling you, because I was doing it at first in the morning, and then I started doing it in the evening, and so then everything from my day was just, overpowering it. But I know better, because I typically meditate in the morning anyway. So, but my experience with it is that there has been this tremendously deep purging of all these all these memories are like flooding my mind that I haven't thought about in years, like traumatic childhood memories, from like being really young to my teenage years, and then just the darkness it's coming up, right?
Yeah.
And then I personally imagine that that's like a release for me. But it can be very overwhelming, and I don't like to journal, but I've been doing it a little bit because you suggested it, and I'm not a huge fan of it personally. I know a lot of people enjoy it, but that's been happening, and then you touching on, you know, working with your inner child. And that's one of the reasons why I love working with kids, because it heals me
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
And I have conversations with kids that aren't acceptable with adults. You know, what's your favorite ice cream? I mean, I guess you could, but and those things, those fun conversations, and hearing them laugh and have fun, and that like heals something inside of me,
Good.
and it has for many years, and I'm very grateful for that. And so, yes, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I've noticed that when I play with my pet, I feel so happy. Like my mind is completely shut down, and so yeah, find those things that move you to get out of your mind. Dancing, chanting, be a free spirit. Remove those blockers. If you feel like dancing, so be it. You know, just get yes, yeah, yeah. Doing things that's going to get you out of beyond your mind. And that's how you're going to elevate your consciousness. Yeah. Also, staying in powerful emotions, which means if you feel anger or rage or jealousy or resentment or guilt or shame, become aware of it, but see how fast you can jump out of it. Don't stay in it, because that's going to drag you down again. That's going to bring your consciousness down, and you're trying to raise your vibration. You're trying to elevate your frequency. So jump out of it and go back into powerful emotions like forgiveness for yourself, love for yourself and for others, and compassion. And get into powerful emotions, because that's powerful emotions resonate in a higher frequency. I mean, there has been so much research done on this, and I've just recently reading a research by, I think, a Dr. Beverly Rubik. She's done a lot of research, and she can actually, she has a software that she's developed where it shows your aura and how your aura changes when you feel those survival emotions, and when you feel powerful emotions, how your aura changes. So you resonate in a different frequency when you work with powerful emotions, which means you're elevating your consciousness when you're thinking in a positive or emoting in a more positive way. So that's another thing. So there are so many things. Write down in your journal what you're going to work on every week in elevating, in supporting how to elevate your consciousness. Okay, so we are going to, anybody needs a break, or we are just going to do our meditation, and that's it. So we're going to do a very simple meditation for Dheeraj, who's new here. You just can follow the guidance. But basically the technique that we follow here is the structure of all our meditations is we focus on our breath. Our breath is our anchor. It brings us back to the present moment. So there are a few things that you should always remember before you start your meditation. Number one is surrendering to the process. Surrender and acceptance. Complete and total acceptance of this moment as is. Because your mind is going to say, hey, you're uncomfortable. Nothing is happening. What the bleep are you doing here anyways? Stuff like that. The mind is going to come and try to get you to get out of and just never come back or not do this. That's the mind's job. It wants you to stay real in this 3D world. It doesn't want you to fly away and become a mystic or anything. It wants you to survive, not thrive. So anyway, so first thing is we accept this moment as is, and we surrender to it. So for the next 40 minutes, this is how it's going to be, and I'm just going to accept it. And then second is, of course, you focus on your breath. Anytime your mind captures you and kidnaps you and takes you away, as soon as you remember, come back to your breath. Okay? One of the things that I've noticed in my meditation, and again, this was, I'm sure it's, a lot of people have said it, but to me it was an aha moment, and I thought I'll share it with you. So how is your breath? You breathe in, and then there is a subtle pause, right? There's an in-breath, you breathe in, a subtle pause, and then there is the out-breath. See if you can stay in the pause between the breaths. See if you can bring your awareness to that pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. Bring your attention to that pause. you will go deeper very quickly. Okay, see that gap is the container of all your breaths. So see if you can stay in that container. When we do our breath work, it's really faster. Like you just, the mind is completely, my mind is literally tuned out. It's like nothing is going on here. It's just, she's just breathing in and out, and, I might as well take a break. So when you do the breath work, it's really quick. But try this today. Stay in the gap, stay in the pause. Keep your attention there. And then you almost forget to breathe. When you put your attention in that pause, and then you breathe, and then you kind of come out of it and then try to go back in. So try that today as much as you can. Make sense? Have you guys tried it? You guys? Did you try that? Does it help? No? Oh, you're still trying to figure it out. Okay. Yeah, it happens. So this is what happens with me too. Because I'm focusing on the pause between the breaths, I end up not breathing. But you know what? Your body is going to take over when the time. You will breathe. Don't worry about it. So don't worry. The body's natural intelligence is going to take over. But you just focus on the pause as much as you can. Yeah. Yeah. Our body has this amazing organizing intelligence, and it's trying to do is to bring us back into coherence, the meditation and the body as well. All right, guys. Yes. Oh, you need a mic because nobody will be.
So I have a question: Is do you have like some basic mechanism for the newbies like me, where you say breathe for 4 seconds, pause for 5, and exhale for 7? That 4-5-7 or
Yeah.
4-5-8, whatever.
Yeah.
There are no rules around that, but I think it's the way I look at it is when you exercise, a trainer trains you the best way. It's the same thing as breathing. Is that somebody tells you, hey, do this mentally, count 4 seconds,
Yes.
inhale,
Yeah.
hold for 5, and exhale.
Okay. I see what
is
you're
there any
saying.
rule of thumb around that?
No, we'll just do that today. And the rule of thumb could be anything, but the way to if you've read on HeartMath Institute, have you read on HeartMath? Okay, go read up, right? So the HeartMath Institute recommends, and I love their recommendation. Is the point is you want to open your heart, and so 4 inhales to the count of 4, breathe for 4, and exhale for 8 or 10. So the exhales are recommended to be longer than your inhale, and also your holding of your breath. And that's when the heart starts to, I don't know, Alexandra, would you be able to explain this better for me? Because you know so much more about how it works, the heart resonance. How does it open up for meditation and for this kind of work when we do that particular kind of breathing? Sorry, I don't want to put you on a spot or anything.
No, it is a heart rhythm.
Heart rhythm.
So you see it as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that's where you breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe, 2, 3, 4. Do you see?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to do with the HRV, right? The heart
Yeah.
rate variability. So it regulates your heart, and you start to calm down. And when the heart feels regulated and relaxed, then your autonomic nervous system also starts to regulate. So the rule of thumb, if you were to ask me, there's no rule here. But if I had to say, then I would say inhale for 4, hold for 4, and out for 8 or 10. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, the breath work is going to teach you a very focused practice, which is for 30 minutes. And, it's a process. You do different kinds of breathing. So first, So the breath work that people learned here is works on all your chakras. So it works on the third eye activation. It works on your heart. It works on your solar plexus and all of that. But one of the breath work technique that I really like, and I'm not sure if you know about it, is called alternate nostril breathing. It's a very powerful practice. Even you don't have to do the whole yogic practice, that the breath work that these guys learned, but you can just do that if you are in a stressful situation, because it's supposed to balance the left and the right hemisphere of the brain. So anyway, the anulom vilom, yes, yes. And it has another word, nadi shodhan. So both of them. Yeah. All right. So let's settle down. And begin by closing your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Another deep breath and let go. Allowing your mind and your body to relax. Giving yourself permission to just be. Observing your body. How does it feel? Breathing into any space in your body that you hold tension. Just letting go. Surrendering to the present moment as is. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. Breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Let's do this again. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and relax. See if you can do this on your own for a few cycles. Breathing in, and relax, relax. Now bring your attention to your breath. And observe curiously the entire breath journey. Perhaps you bring your attention on your nostrils, where you can feel this breath. Perhaps you observe your breath in the rise and fall of your chest. Breathing in and breathing out, and just relaxing, surrendering. Staying with your breath. And now gently bring your awareness to the pause between the breaths. Keep your attention there. observing the gap between your in breath and your out breath. And now, gently bring your awareness to how you feel within. How do you feel emotionally? Where is your mind at? Are you rested with your breath? Inhaling mindfully once again and being present with the here and now. Reminding yourself you are safe, you are loved, and you are protected. Surrendering to your breath. Observing the temperature of your breath on your nostrils. observing the temperature on your skin. Does the breeze feel cool, or do you feel warm? Bringing your awareness to the sounds around you, the music, the fountain, the people. Not allowing your mind to take you away from this moment. Coming back to your breath. And bringing your attention to the pause between your breaths and staying there. I invite you now to bring your attention to your heart space. Breathing in into your heart and breathing out of your heart. Flowing in and flowing out from your heart, your beautiful heart, your radiant heart. showering yourself with love. And compassion. See if you can now surrender your need to control and allow yourself to flow with life. Perhaps sink further. Relaxing deeply with the music, the gentle breeze, and this present moment. Perhaps you feel a sense of expansion in your heart space. Tune into it. This is where you have access to your spirit guides, to your higher self. From this place of expansion, see what you want to embody today. It might be a sense of inner peace. It might be gratitude. It might be love for yourself and your life. Or it might be surrender. Reminding yourself that you are a divine consciousness, the silent witness of your mind and your breath. Perhaps you communicate with the source that loves you so much. Asking your divine to make you more aware of its presence. Staying in your heart. Asking that the veil of illusion be lifted and your connection to the divine be deepened. Becoming aware of your own divinity through every breath. And now coming back to your breath on your nostrils or in the rise and fall of your shoulders. Observing your breath's journey. And with gratitude for yourself and your journey, when you feel ready and inspired, you may begin to open your eyes to love, light, and letting go. Namaste. So I was sharing with you about how meditation works, right? And I gave you some insights into that. When you keep working on increasing your vibration and elevating your consciousness through these awakening tools that we have, you will notice that you are going to channel a lot of higher wisdom. It's not knowledge, it's wisdom. You will gain access to your spirit guides. You will gain access to your higher self. You probably already are in that process. It's just you need to quieten the noise of your mind, the clutter that your mind has you in a grip. It has you mesmerized, hypnotized. So you want to bring that down, turn that volume down, and turn the volume up for your own consciousness to rise. Because all of these spirit guides, they are already there. You're probably not listening to them. Your guides are there to guide you. And you'll notice you'll start to go in a certain sense of flow in your life. Now, I never want to say that this journey is always up and up and up, because that's not the case. It's not that linear. There is expansion and there is contraction. Expansion, contraction. A lot of switchbacks, pitfalls, what have you. It's all there because it really depends on the baggage you're holding. So this baggage will keep coming up to your surface and it'll release. When it comes to your surface, it might torment you a little bit, but be patient with yourself. That is why I'm talking about, being patient with your inner child, because things are going to bubble up, things that may not be pleasant, but this is how this whole thing works. It's going to bring all that gunk up, so it can be released permanently. So be patient with this whole journey that you're on already. Like it or not, you're in this journey. So might as well learn how it works and also be patient with it and of course enjoy it, right? Well, that's all I had to say. And if you guys would like to share anything at this point. Good.
That was a good one.
Good.
The music was like,
Yeah.
took me to another place.
Yes.
It was really lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I'll say one more thing. And another thing. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Wow, that was really magical. I in my own meditation practice, and as some people know, I've been off the wagon for a little while, and so doing the breathwork course really helped.
You're back to it.
I'm back
so
on the wagon.
So you don't have to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
So in that time,
I mean, you can if you want to. But.
Well, in that time when I was not meditating as consistently as I usually do, and have for a very long time, or a long time for me, anyways. But boy, am I really realizing what it did for me, but also what it took from me. And so there's that. But then also with the breath, usually in my meditations, my breath becomes very, very shallow, really super shallow. And I just kind of let that be. I don't really, and sometimes I'll take a big inhale, but then having your guidance to remind me to once in a, like it would go really shallow, and then to kind of do the counting, really makes a big difference.
Angela, when you say shallow, is it like you're breathing in and out quickly?
No, it's like it's almost
you're
like
forgetting to breathe.
It's like I don't think about the breath, so I'm just kind of
that's a good state.
In this little state, right? It's in this little, what I like to refer to as a blissful state.
That is a good state to be, when you forget to breathe almost.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like when you're sleeping and your breathing becomes very shallow.
Right.
It's just very, very shallow and very peaceful. So thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Did anyone else? No?
Grace wanted to say something.
Gracie wanted to say something.
Okay. Yes,
I have not been practicing the breathing because I thought I can't do it by my own. So when Melissa gets from work, she gets tired and she does it by her own, But probably this weekend I'm gonna start doing it because I really see the benefits of it, and
Yeah.
I feel I wasn't so much ache and pain on my body. And all this week, I have been since the time that we had that. I feel so good now, and I do meditate, during the mornings at night, but not the. So um, I was telling we went to Lake Tahoe yesterday, and we invited Melissa's friend, and I was telling her all the benefits, that I barely started coming here, and I could see so much benefits for my body and my mind, and yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys, and
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Grace. Thank you. So,
Somebody else, okay.
yes, of course.
Yeah. So I've been breathing for some time, and I find this extremely, therapeutic. I
Yeah.
think simple things, where like get up in the morning, first thing I do is get out in my backyard and breathe. In the beginning, you don't feel anything, and then I think I have this something like a fountain. I run that, and then you start listening to the sound of water. There's two hummingbirds that come and drink water from there. The like here right now when we were doing that, you could sense the breeze. You could uh, isolate the traffic noise and focus more on the water noise,
Yeah. Very
the
good.
bees that are buzzing by.
Yes. Yes.
I think the biggest value is that now I don't know long term does it, but at that moment you're out of rest of the worldly
Yes.
problems
Yes.
and
Yeah.
blessings of the world, and you're completely in mindful state at this point of
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
that's the beautiful of breathing
Yeah.
is you just you don't worry about anything else or count your
Yeah.
blessings for everything else, but you're just like in that moment. That's the biggest value of this breathing exercise as I see. I mean, colors become greener, senses become
Wow.
heightened. I think those are
That's pretty
really,
cool.
so that's my view on this.
Thank you. Okay. Alexandra. All right. I think David wants to say something.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
one of my favorite things about embracing my inner child,
Yeah.
is just letting go of things. Like as a child, you never used to plan things. That was all planned for you. You never used to worry about, what was going to happen next, or I mean, like everything was an adventure,
Yeah.
and that's kind of one of my favorite things about that
Yeah.
embracing that inner child.
Becoming more playful.
Yeah,
Right.
and just not trying to control, just accepting things as they
I
come.
like that.
So
I think that we can all, it's good to remember that.
yeah, and
It's too
then
much control.
just like trying to manage doing the business side of things. So I will put an announcement out about the like doing the breathwork thing again. If other since I think a lot of people just weren't able to do it, so let's try and get that together again soon. I think that'll
Yeah.
really help everybody.
Yay.
Yay!
Oh, we missed you both.
Yes.
Because I know how well it'll benefit you both, but you both could make it happen. Um, and people, if you're interested in the retreat, then please reach out to Paresh. Like I was telling you, it's all about elevating our consciousness, and the retreat really gives you that environment, the community. By the way, the community is most important. And so we cannot do this work in isolation, you know? It's great to do it on yourself, by yourself, but when you get the right environment and right set of people, and everything is focused on elevating your consciousness. And I just told you what happens when you elevate your consciousness, when you vibrate at a higher level, you are removing all the discordant notes that exist in your body and your mind and your spirit. So you're doing a massive amount of work on yourself. Massive transformations are happening. So take this time, go for this retreat, if you can, and that's it, right? Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.